To today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Listen, we have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real, relevant, and relatable content on today's episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. How are you, Cassandra Davis?
You say all my names. I'm doing great, Kim. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. I am so glad that you have graced us with your presence again. And for those of you that are grabbing your virtual seats, I'll wait a few minutes just to tell you why I'm so happy that Cassandra is here. She's going to be coming on multiple times throughout the next month or so. So I'm excited and honored and grateful. And I see backstage, I see you, Katherine. How are you? Are you ready to come in? Let me pull you up for a second as well. I want everybody, as you're grabbing your virtual seats, to know that, Katherine, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Doing great. Let me put you up here beside Cassandra. Y'all listen, as you all are grabbing your virtual seats today, we have two special guests that are on. The first half, you're going to get to hear from Cassandra Davis, and then you're also going to get to hear from Katherine Spencer during the second half of the show. So, Katherine, I know you're going to be backstage and enjoying everything that's happening, but if you could, let everybody know what they can expect to hear when you do come on later today.
Just to give a brief story, I am going to be speaking about my brother and his battle with addiction and ultimately what it led to.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. So all of us know people that deal with some level of addiction. And so this is going to be a heartwarming, I'll just keep it at that. It's going to be a heartwarming episode and segment when she comes on. Thank you so much, Katherine, for being here with us today. And Cassandra, let people know what they can expect to hear from us during this first half of the segment.
Well, on the first half, also, Katherine, it's a pleasure to share, I'll say the virtual stage with you today. And very nice to meet you. So glad to have you here. Today, I'm just coming back. Kim has allowed me to come back to share about Servant Church, and our women's ministry is called SIS, and that stands for Sisters Intentionally Serving. And I want to talk to you guys about our big, I'm going to call it a Women's Day event, a SIS sisterhood celebration that's going to be happening on Saturday, April 20th.
Woohoo! So you don't want to miss any part of today's episode. And what we're going to do, Katherine, I'm going to put you backstage. So we'll see you shortly. And Cassandra, we're going to get a chance to let people know about you today. First of all, Cassandra is a mother. She is a wife. She is a pastor's wife, to be specific. That's a big difference between being a wife and being a pastor's wife. She's also a friend, a daughter, a sister. She has a wonderful tribe of sisters that love on her like you can't even imagine. And then she's also in law school. She is over the 50 mark. I won't reveal her age, but she's on that 50 clip, right?
Yes, I am.
Also a law student. I said that too. And she also works with the Kim Jacobs Show. So I am honored to have Cassandra Davis with us today. Welcome.
Thank you, Kim. It is a pleasure to be back here, with you guys to just share. And I'm grateful that you make your platform available for those of us who want to share news and events and testimonies and just anything that we want to get out to the community. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So when you talk about SIS, that's S period I period S period. So when you talk about that, you said Sisters Intentionally Serving. Talk to us about what made you come up with that particular name for your women's organization.
Well, I cannot personally take credit for that acronym. That was our minister, Angela Permenter. She and I were praying and touching and agreeing. I had given her and shared with her my prayers and what in the direction I believe that God was sending us. And I said, but I'm not really sure, what that looks like. What's it? How do we label that, if that makes sense? And then she called me up and she said, "What about this?" And I'm like, "Perfect." So Angela is just a great resource. If you can tell her what's on your mind and tell her, the visions and dreams that God's given you, she just has a way of helping to pull it all together and connecting with you. And it resonated with her, so it resonated with me. And so that is how SIS was birthed. And we brought that to the women of Servant Church because we're not quite 2 years old yet in our ministry. September of this year will be our second year planted here in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, what we're doing since we began a year ago this month, we had our first SIS fellowship.
Yeah.
And God has, oh, I can't even tell you, He has, as I hear people say all the time, blown my mind because you never know what to expect. And you talk to people and you share with them, what God has given you. And the amount of women that's resonated with has just been such a blessing to all of the women at Servant Church. And so each month we meet on the third Saturday at 10 a.m. Right now we're having church inside the Kara Hoffner Center here in Charlotte at 615 East 6th Street. And so every Saturday, third Saturday of the month, we meet there as women. And each month, God is just filling the room where we're having to bring in extra chairs,
Wow.
tables. And it was February. There were just a little over 30 women in the room and at the table. And
That's
that at the table piece, I was just talking to God. I have two biological sisters, and then I have a sister cousin. You know about that. You've got some sister cousins, and
Yes.
and so I was like, say, my mom had four girls because we were raised as sisters. But my mom, she always it was almost like a mandate. She insisted.
Mhm.
There was no wiggle room in it. You act like sisters. And that was from being little girls. And so there was no space in our home to have any long term discord or confusion amongst me and my sisters. Her thing was, okay, agree to disagree, but get it right. Get back together. And to this day, with my sisters, when I tell you, I feel extremely blessed. There has never, and I'm not ashamed to say I'm 54 years old. I had a birthday last Monday. Thank God for that. And that whole time, I've never had a situation with my sisters where we're not talking or
That's
not
right.
communicating, or what do we say? We haven't had a falling out, you
Right,
know,
right.
sorts, because I've met women and different people, and it pains me when they say, "Oh, well, I haven't talked to my sister in 5 years, 6 years, 6 months, 6 days," and I can't imagine that, and not because we're so perfect or we got it all figured out,
Right.
but because we were just raised to work it out. We don't have it all figured out, but we were raised to work it out,
Well,
and so
what are some of the ways that you and your sisters worked it out? Because people probably would love to hear a tip or two on how they can get to the other side of anger in a
yeah,
sister or sibling relationship.
because we have disagreed and had different and have different viewpoints about things. But you know what? As soon as you said that, the biggest thing that resonates with me, we watch how we talk to one another. We don't it's like I don't really know how to come out of my mouth wrong with my sisters because I wasn't raised to do it. And so if my older sister and I aren't, we don't see something the same way, we're talking just like you and I are talking now. And then we just respect like, what, well, I don't think so, because girl, that is just crazy to me. And but then it's like, but hey, if this is what you're doing, and if they were on here, they would tell you, we're like, but if this is the direction you want to go, if it's something like that, if this is it, then we're going to support you through it. But just understand, I
Mhm.
don't think this is, this doesn't make sense to me. But
Well,
I'm
you
going to
do.
help you.
You still specify that it doesn't make sense to
Oh
you.
yeah, it's important to be honest because they will tell me, girl, now Sandy, And, but then they're going to show up, be there, and pick up if I call. And one of the biggest things that I'll just speak for myself, that I know that I do personally, even if there is an instance where I was kind of right in what I was saying to them, like it didn't go well, and I told you it was going to go this way. I am not going to say that. I'm not going to call you up with it. What I'll tell you, because Mom said you treat people the way you want to be treated. Because
Right.
I know that there's going to be a moment when I think I know, but I don't know, and I'm going to be wrong. I don't want them to call me up and say that to me. And the other thing is, we do the three-way. It's going to be talked out, because even as sisters, there is no need for us to go behind each other's back to talk something over about each other. My younger sister's good about that. She's like, hold on, let me get everybody on the phone.
That's good. That is a good piece of advice right there too.
Everybody needs to hear the same thing at the same time. Then there is no confusion or even any speculation about, you're talking about me, because who wants to feel like your sister is talking about you to the other sister? That
Right.
would erode trust. We do a lot of three ways, and not because we're having disagreements, but because now it's just become a habit. If we're going to talk something over, we just get everybody on the phone and let's either plan a date, whatever it is, make a plan, something about care for my dad, whatever it is, but we don't leave each other out of the loop when it comes to all things that involve sisterhood. Now, when it comes to our individual households, we respect those private things. You get invited in if you choose to invite me into something that's going on into your home or in your life. But when it comes to sisterhood, it's we got a group text, all of that, because if I'm taking dad to the doctor, you all are going to get the same message or the same note about his visit at the same time. I'm not hoarding information, and
Good.
one and not telling the other. I think that's really important. And that is the honest truth. That is exactly how we do business.
That's a good thing. So how does that correlate or translate over to sis in the church? Because now you being a part of true sisterhood with your biological sisters, then being able to know that now you're spearheading the women's ministry at Servant Church in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Mhm.
I'm sure you're pulling from some of those
All
transparent ways of doing things.
pulling from all of it, because I feel like I guess it makes sense. I feel like I've been trained, or
Mhm.
I'm equipped for this, because this is how I live my real life. So I don't have
Right.
to, I've heard you say it all the time. I don't have to fake you out. I don't have to fake a person out, because this is who I am. That way, even when my sisters see me functioning in ministry, they're not going, well, who is that? Or that's not how she acts with us. And how can I be sisters to women I meet in church and not be a real sister to the ones that God gave me, my
Mhm.
flesh and blood. So, and it's calming for me, because guess what? I don't have to pretend. I don't have to. I know we like to say we wear many hats, and it's okay to wear many different hats. I think that's great as women. Wear all the hats you want. Keep the same face.
That's right.
Keep the
I
same.
love that. Say that again, please.
Yes, I don't need to, I don't need to change my face. I mean, my makeup, but you know what I mean? Don't, change hats, not character, I should
Right.
say. Change outfits, whatever, talents, but be who you say you are and who God has called you to be, no matter what hat you're wearing, whether you got on makeup or not, no matter changing jobs, changing cities. I need for people, how, you and I, we go to Chick-fil-A a lot with our kids. And everyone always says about Chick-fil-A. I mean, just was there yesterday. But you know how everywhere you go, you pretty much get the same experience. You can be
Right.
in North Carolina, Georgia, California. Chick-fil-A is Chick-fil-A. And I
That's
feel like that's how we ought to be as sisters. So if you see me at church, or if you see me at work, or if you see me walking in the community, or in the market, you should always meet Cassandra.
That's right. And
And
that's a great illustration, and I love that.
yeah, I
Be
don't want to juggle
consistent in
characters.
season and out of season.
That's right. And we shouldn't have to juggle characters because, oh, I need to act like this over here and act like that over there. So that's what I do my very best with the help of God. Try to help me be who you called me to be and be who I say I am. Let that be manifested real time. And so that when I'm talking to the women of the church, some are younger than me, some are older than me. We have church mothers, but I'm
Mhm.
grateful to God that we can show each other a level of respect for
That's
real, because I'm trying to be an example for any age, any group, any nationality. I just want to be that example of saved by grace, because that's what I am. Because but God, and but for the grace of God, any of us can find ourselves consumed with the troubles of this world,
that's
and
right.
consumed by not so good decisions, and consumed by sometimes the company we keep. Anything can happen, but God, you
But God,
know, but God,
His grace and mercy, His
it's
grace and mercy.
all day long. And so
Yeah,
if I pray to God and I thank God for giving me grace, who would I be not to? If I'm going to be an
that's right.
example of Him, an extension of Him, how could I not give it? How can I? I want God to forgive me. Oh God, please don't hold this against me. Oh God, please bless me. Oh God, please. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But if someone needs to apologize to me or wants to, I'm like, or if I need to apologize to someone else, I'm not doing it because I'm got a stiff upper lip. My goodness, if God treated us that
Mm.
way, I mean, why would we even still be here?
Yep,
You know
that's
what I'm
right.
saying? I hope, and it is my desire to always, and you and I have always been that way with each other. You respect me, I respect you, and we respect each other's, positioning and posture, whatever that is. But that's just the example that I'm doing my best to set. And I also I try to always learn from someone else. I want everyone to know, hey, I can learn something from you as
That's
well,
right.
because these titles people can get hung up on.
Way beside ourselves, right?
No, yeah, okay, if you're a pastor's wife, then they call you, first lady, and I think that's very respectful, and that's nice. But you know what? um, everyone is someone's first lady in some resort. Whereas first mom, first grandma, first auntie, first wife, whatever. If your husband's not a pastor, but everyone I think is someone's first,
That's right.
someone that they love and revere and respect. And so
Good.
I learn a lot from the women, especially the mothers of our church and the
Mhm.
young people. So just be open to that. Yeah.
That's good. Good. So, okay, so you all have already heard some great balance tips right here, how to have great success in your own sister sibling relationship, being able to, if you have multiple siblings, calling everybody together at one time so nobody's talking behind the other person's back. That's like drop the mic tip that you shared right there. It's
Mhm.
like, wait, hold on. We're not going to talk about this person without this person being present and being able to say whatever they need to say on their own behalf.
Yeah.
I love that. And that's similar to what I witnessed when it came to SIS, Sisters Intentionally Serving. That's what SIS stands for, everybody. And for those that are just joining, Cassandra Davis is over this project, a group of women within Servant Church, and not just in Servant Church, but around the world, for
Mhm.
women to be able to come together and sit at a table and
Yes.
be able to intentionally look out for each other. And when I came to the event with you, one of the SIS events, I realized that it was a safe space, a very safe space.
It is.
There were times when people were crying and people were pouring out, and I felt very comfortable being in that environment around the table. Why the table?
The table, you know what? Just imagine, sometimes when we go to conferences, women, we go to a lot of conferences. Sometimes you're in a room and there are rows, and you can see you got front row, second row, and you can't. Even if they tell you look and tell you, you got to look back. You can't see the faces of everybody around you. But
Right.
I feel like, even from way back, the kitchen table, not even your dining room table, the kitchen table is where people, I mean, ideas have been birthed at the table, a family table. And what happens around the table? Everybody can see everyone's face,
Mhm.
and everyone, and there's more of a connection. And so I'm believing God to expand our table. We keep adding as much as we can in that room that we meet, in that classroom that we meet in. But I know we're going to have to come out of there, because it's my prayer that I'm able to just keep making that table bigger and bigger so that the women are always facing each other. And it's something powerful. And you've been there when you are facing and you're in eye contact with another sister who is sharing her why or her testimony or just nuggets from her journey or just pouring out from her heart. You connect instantly. Why? Because you're looking at her. You're not sitting on a front row and hearing somebody behind you talking, you know.
That's good.
And, you know, I'm going to tell on him. My husband's in the room. He gives me, he writes, I'm going to look, I'm going to tell my pastor husband. He hands me a little piece of a napkin. Psalm 23, I will prepare a table for you in the presence of your enemies.
And you know what? That is a wonderful husband. That is
So
a
he
wonderful.
understand. Now y'all know he's even pastoral at home. I get a script while I'm doing a live
That, you know
show.
what? That's a
I'm getting
perfect
word.
example.
I'm getting word. So he's not just pastoral out here in these Charlotte streets and surrounding areas, but he is reminding me of scripture in the home. So I thank him for that. But that's in the word. So that's not Cassandra. That's the word. You know, I will prepare. And God, that's not my idea. That's God's vision for this ministry. It's an arm of Servant Church, but it's slowly turning into a ministry
Mhm.
that supports the church and that helps to undergird the church and strengthen the church, because the stronger, and you know, hey, we are women, you know, hear us roar. And when the women are galvanized and when they are in sync and when they are working together, that's a blessing to any entity. I don't
That's
care
right.
what it is, if you've got the women, you know, empowered. And so that's the reason for the table. It helps us to connect. And if the Lord our God is preparing a table for us, I'm just so grateful that He has allowed me to be able to do that as well myself. And because it's not Cassandra, it is the women of the community. Love you too, sis.
Okay. And look, he's still giving her some more instructions. So I'll just give y'all a visual of who this man is over there behind the scenes. This actually, he's pastoring her. That's what I'm saying. He's guiding her in the way of all truth, trying to help her understand
Amen.
what she wants
Amen.
to.
He is my pastor husband. Yes, he's
He's
my
a
pastor
pastor
husband.
husband. And so it's one thing to be married to someone. It's another thing to have a great friend that you
Mhm.
have in your pastor and your husband, who allows and even encourages you to
Mhm.
be your best version of yourself and be
Yeah.
able to inspire other women and kind of not micromanage you, but just let you go on and do what God has gifted you to do.
Oh, he gets out of the way, and you know, but we still respect him. We go to him, but he gets out of the way. And I'm grateful that he has entrusted me and the other sisters at Servant Church to be out in the community, you know, bringing other women in, and it's just been great. I'm just going to quickly tell you, we had our first. We did a sis boutique, ladies first boutique, this past weekend. Yes, and we used the other classroom at the Kara Hoffner Center, and um, uh, Minister Angela, Sister Stephanie, and Minister Harriet were helping me with this. And I told Harriet, I said, I just want, please let's create a an environment where women can come in. And what we did is we were asking all women anywhere donate beautiful, gently used clothing and purses, jewelry, shoes, you know, everything.
I have some stuff to donate to, some
Oh,
cute
thank you,
stuff.
thank you. I've now
Yeah.
since Sunday, I've had people calling me saying, "Tell me more about this boutique. I want to get involved." But we set that classroom up just like a nice boutique, and the women were able to come in after Sis Fellowship and shop and pick things, because for Saturday, April 20th, for next month, we don't want any sister left out. And someone said, "Well, I don't have anything to wear," and it's semi-formal, not black tie formal, but just I wanted all the ladies to get cute and come out so we can fellowship together. And ladies
Yes.
left there with the whole outfit, dress, handbag, jewelry, everything, because so many people were so gracious to donate. They laundered it, put it on hangers. We had some in zip up bags, and ladies
Oh,
had such an experience. And some of the ladies were some of the outfits they got to church on Sunday. And it was so amazing. And my
I'm so
phone,
excited.
I know I got 2 messages yesterday. I want to help the boutique. I want what can I do? So I'm just going to put in the atmosphere. I'm praying that God will give me a space give the church a space, give us a building as a space where I can keep this going. We can keep this going. And because it costs you nothing to come
That's right.
in and just get dressed. And but if you, even Sunday after church, we left it up and people were still shopping.
And I have shoes, Cassandra, that I'll wear them one time to like an event,
Mhm.
and if they bite my baby toe,
They got to go.
they are the fine. They could be the most gorgeous shoes, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, they are really some cute
Yes.
shoes, right? But guess what? They go into your boutique so that somebody can be blessed.
Yeah, so Ladies First Boutique had its first successful opening. I don't know how yet, and I don't know how it's going to come together, but we're not going to close the doors. I even yesterday I look, I say, God, if you have to make it a mobile boutique, but I want every lady should have something beautiful to wear, no matter her circumstance, that she feels good in, that she doesn't have to worry about having the money to buy.
That's
Ladies were
good.
donating clothes with tags on them, brand new shoes in boxes because they cared. They didn't just give someone something they just wanted to discard that wasn't
Right.
useful. And
Yeah, I was gonna sell mine. I had them online to sell, but guess what? I'm taking them all off and mark them sold because they sold over to you.
sold to the kingdom. Sold to the kingdom. That's it.
Sold
Sold
to
to
the
the kingdom.
kingdom. Let me address some of the comments that are coming in. But before we do go to the comments, Mackenzie, you can take the comment down for 1 minute. I want to make sure people know, because we're going to be going into our second half of our segment. How do people register to be a part of this big
Yeah.
conference that's happening Saturday, April 20th? And it's going to be at the Goodwill Career Center, 5301 Wilkinson Boulevard in Charlotte, North Carolina. Now, I know this show streams in countries, so if you're not near the Charlotte area, then you don't probably know what I'm talking about. But tell people how they can register.
Yes, we're going to be at the Goodwill Career Center. And I think that is just the best place for Servant Church because Goodwill serves the community and we serve the community. And they have a beautiful event space inside of the Goodwill Center. And we're going to transform that environment into something that is so beautiful for the women. And we have the one and only Dr. Morella Ivy from the Greater Full Assurance International Ministries coming. And when I tell you she is a pearl in the kingdom, a truly honorable woman of God, and she's going to come and pour into the women. And we're going to have Minister Adrienne Blunt coming. She's going to have some comedy for the women, and we've got good food catered in. But this is the QR code, ladies. I'm not going to tell the ladies how many seats that I'm praying for God to fill. I'm going to hold that real close for a little while. But no, ladies, I need you to copy this QR code. Take out your phones, grab this QR code. The registration fee is only $25. And listen, I know I said only, but if $25, hey, maybe an only for one person, but it may be a stretch for others. We have women who are not only paying their registration fee, they are paying a sponsor registration fee for any female that wants to come, but $25 is just not within their capacity right now. And that's understandable. But we mean what we say when we are intentionally not leaving our sisters behind. Purse in my bag. And we are
You can't focus with. He might as well pull a chair up. Right?
he's got to get to a meeting. My purse is downstairs. And and
that's the whole part of this show is balancing life.
Real life. This is real life. I should have hung those keys. And that's another tip, ladies. If you got the keys in your purse, but you have a key rack in your house, hang the keys up, because if anyone else who's married or whatever, or their sons, they have been raised, they don't like to go in mama's purse. So he's like, I don't like going in your purse. And we have a key thing by the door. I should have hung them up, but I ran in from taking the kids. So that's a balance tip. Hang your keys up.
Let me do this. Let me go to a couple of comments. I want to make sure people get a chance to say their comments, and then we're going to go to a commercial break and hear from Katherine Spencer. So Christy Brown said, yes, amen. Amen. She is on here supporting her pastor's wife and very supportive in the ministry. Kimberly Fowler says, sis sounds like an amazing group. I need to find a group like that in the DMV area. Who knows? You might be getting a sis.
Group. Kimberly, I'll tell you how you can get started.
Yay. All right. Christy Brown says, yes, by the grace of God, there goes I. So let's make sure that we're not being judgmental of other people. And let's see any other comments that came in. I saw Ernetta Caldwell, our Reinvent Yourself expert here on the Kim Jacobs Show. She said, this is so good. And She said, this is so good. Keep the same face. Keep that same face, no matter what. All right, everybody. Listen, how can they stay connected with you? And then we're going to take a commercial. Good morning to you, Ernetta. We're going to take a commercial break after we hear from how they can stay connected to you.
Well, yes, you can reach out on our Servant Church Facebook page. That's Servant Church NC, or you can email me at cassandra@servantnc.church. And if you watch the replay, anyone, that QR code should be popping up. Use that QR code to register or reach out to me, and I can help you with the registration. There's a link also on our church Facebook page that you can register with that link as well. But I'm just asking, just even from today's broadcast, I am hoping that at least 20 women will register today. That's going to help me meet just a private goal I'm holding on to. I'll share that when I come back on again before April 20th. But thank you, Kim, so much. And I'm looking forward to hearing from Katherine. Thank you so much.
Absolutely love you, Cassandra. Thank you for being here, and have a great day. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with Katherine Spencer. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Kim Jacobs, the Managing Director of the Charlotte, North Carolina chapter of eWomen Network. I am so excited that you stopped to watch this video. I've got good news for you. You've just discovered an international network of women entrepreneurs who are committed to helping you achieve, succeed, and prosper. We're on a mission here to help 1 million women entrepreneurs each achieve $1 million in annual revenue. Here at eWomen Network, we have a complete success system that supports you every step of the way in building and growing your business. You being here right now is no accident. We're supposed to know about you. We want to meet you to find out how we can help you, as well as learn about what you have to offer. With over 500,000 women connected through 118 chapters across the United States, Canada, Australia, and the United Kingdom, you are never alone. If this is resonating with you, please go to eWomenNetwork.com/Charlotte. Notice too my contact information. I invite you to reach out to me and to check out our upcoming in-person and online events. I'm really looking forward to introducing you to our special community.
All right, everyone. We are back here on the Kim Jacobs Show with the second half of our episode with Katherine Spencer. Katherine, how are you today?
I am doing good. I'm excited to be back on your show.
Well, I'm so excited to have you back. And I want to make sure everyone gets a chance to know who you are. Katherine is 42 years old. She's a wife, mother, and child. She is a member of Holy Trinity Church Cultural Arts Center, Church of God in Christ in Cleveland, Ohio, and the Park Church in Charlotte, North Carolina. She's also a dedicated member to both of those churches. She has a passion for people, children, and animals. She further enjoys helping those in need, particularly those that are disabled and disadvantaged and elderly. She is now uses her voice as a motivational speaker, and she is her brother's voice as well. We're going to hear more. We're going to hear more about some of her story right from her directly. Welcome to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Katherine, I want to make sure people get a chance to, for those that are just tuning in or have already tuned in and got to hear from Cassandra, which was amazing, about the SIS conference, and whether you're in the Charlotte or surrounding area or not, come to Charlotte for the conference. How about that? Just make a road trip of it. But anyway, today I'd like to share American Addicts Center says that 46.8 million Americans ages 12 and older battle a substance use disorder in the past year. And that, I think that's like an alarming number of people. So talk to us, if you would, about your brother, because I know we have the 30 minutes here.
Yeah, my brother, we are a little over a year apart. So I was born in 82, January of 82. He was born in March of 83. We have there's four of us all together. So there's two older, there's me, and there's my baby brother. However, I am the closest with my baby brother. that was my prize. I favored him. I know you're not supposed to have a favorite out of siblings, but I favored him out of everybody. And it was probably because he just came to me about so much stuff. He felt like he could confide in me and trust in me.
I'm going to interrupt you only for a minute because I know you don't want the story to go forward with the static that we're hearing. So what I want to do is give you a chance to, I don't know if you want to take the ear pods out and I'll give you a moment. I'll put you backstage and let you adjust for a second and then come back on because I think there's static happening. But what I will do is I will put this up just to let you all know one of the CIS fellowships that I know I enjoyed as well. I think I have some footage from it while we're waiting for Katherine backstage to get the mic situated. Let me put this up. Yeah, here's one of the fellowships. I'll play it. All right, everyone. So make sure you all register. We had the QR code earlier, so make sure you watch the replay and then also the flyer. I have the flyer here again. Katherine, give me a thumbs up if you're ready to pop back in. All right. All right, everyone, make sure that you go and visit with Servant Church NC to register for the wonderful conference that's going to be right at the table where you can look at everyone's eyes on Saturday, April 20th. And it's from 12 to 3 p.m. Only $25 to register. Okay, I'm pulling you back in, Katherine. So let me hear you.
So hopefully that's a little bit better.
No, it's still static, but I just want to give you the opportunity to go ahead. And do you need to have the headphones on?
Not really.
Yeah, just take them off. I think it'll be better, even though I'm doing a whole tutorial right here on the show. But it's okay. I really have to hear your brother's story without any static. I think that would do him justice.
Okay. You're still able to hear me okay?
I think it's a little better. So let's go ahead and let's hear about your brother, please.
Okay. Yeah. My brother passed away. He was 40 years old. So I just recently lost him in October of last year. There is a lot that I know, but there's a lot that I don't know. To make a long story short, I was coming out of a doctor's appointment and I had received a Facebook message asking me for my phone number. It was from another relative of his. I gave them my phone number and they basically said, we have an update about your brother. We wanted to let you know. And before they had a chance to finish, I already knew. It wasn't a huge surprise because my brother had mentioned to me that he would not make it to live beyond 40. And he was already 40 years old. And it's a comment that, you don't want to believe. I will say to everybody, if a relative, if a loved one or anybody, it doesn't even have to be a relative or a loved one, somebody that you may be ministering to, if they make such a comment, I would take it very seriously. The reason in my brother's case why I really didn't take it very seriously is because he's been known to make comments before and nothing ever came about it. So I thought maybe he was just playing a mean joke. I didn't think he was serious at all. Do I think it was his intentions to pass away? No. in his case, with his addiction, he was covering up pain, years of pain, years of childhood trauma, years of feeling as if he didn't belong and wanted to belong. Just a lot of pain. And he just never, unfortunately, got help for that. Which is why, some people, I've gotten the question, well, if you're siblings and you went through the same thing, how did you come out okay? And he is in the position that he's in. We're two total different individuals.
Right. Yeah.
we're definitely not the same person. And on top of that, I chose, even though it was very difficult, to go along with the course of the help that was handed to me. Unfortunately, when somebody is stubborn and they are set on their ways, there's not much that you can do about it. It was very difficult being in my shoes because I had to learn how to love him, but to love him from a distance, basically.
And I want you to talk about that for a second, because you seem like you really handled that well with your brother, being able to love someone but love them from a distance. What does that look like from your perspective?
Well, we lived locally, so we only lived about 30 minutes, 45 minutes apart. But I had to learn that, with his addiction, I could not afford to have him around, because what individuals may not realize, an addict can be very sneaky. So they may come over and say, I need to use the restroom. They're not really using the restroom. They might be looking in your medicine cabinet to see what kind of pills you have. They might be looking around your house to see what you have that they can take, because they want to sell that to be able to get money so that they can buy their drugs. I do not know if that was an issue in his case, but I do know others that have experienced that exact issue. I had heard rumors about my brother potentially having that habit. If he had done it to me, I was not aware of it. I was never aware of it, and still not aware of it to this very day. I'm the type of person, I like a very calm lifestyle. I don't like a lot of chaotic stuff going on. And when you have an addict involved in your life that is very, very chaotic, I don't like that sort of drama. So, I did allow my brother to call me on occasion, and that was it. He used to come over. I stopped allowing him to come over because the worse his addiction got, the worse his behavior became.
So when you stopped him from coming over, but you knew that he was suffering at that level, what does that do? I know what it does for anybody. It's heartbreaking because you know that you love the person, but how do you help people get over those situations mentally whenever they know that the person is suffering beyond what they're controlling? That's why it's an addiction, and you want to be there for the person.
Unfortunately, there's not much you can do as an individual. I'm a very prayerful person. I'm in ministry a lot. So I allowed myself to get more involved in my church so that I could be more active. And it helped keep my mind off of a lot of the stress or anxiety that was created because of what I was dealing with involving my brother. My brother, on the other hand, of course, there was a little backlash. He would say, "Oh, you don't love me."
Of course, right.
When I knew absolutely that was not true. And the times that I did allow him to come over, it was unplanned, completely unplanned, because he did have a good side. Like, he called me one day, "You gonna be home tomorrow at 1?" I said, "Yeah." And don't plan on going anywhere. And here it is. He didn't tell me why. He just told me, "Be home at 1, be downstairs with the shopping cart." I'm like, okay. So I did that. Here it is. He had a car full of groceries. He filled not just my cupboard, he filled my floor. I mean, there was stuff everywhere. I had to start giving some of it away because there was no space.
So even with the addiction, the heart of compassion was still there for the love that he had for you.
Oh, definitely. I was, even though I was older, if he was still around, he would tell everybody he's older because he acted like he was the one in charge. And we all know when we have siblings, if you're older, you lead by example. Well, he tried to be the one in charge. Any single time anybody would mess with me, I could not tell him because as soon as I told him, he would say, okay, where do they live? No, I don't need you going over to anybody's house, causing no problems. No, I don't need you doing that. But he was very, very protective. We two, out of the four of us, we were the only two that stuck together.
Wow.
So
I want to
like,
put some pictures up too.
yeah.
That's the two of you, right?
Yes. I was roughly about 5 or 6 in that picture. So he would have been about 4. Oh, goodness. Oh, I was maybe 2 in that picture. He was about 1.
So, and look, I mean, you can tell you all are inseparable because you're in a lot of pictures together.
Yeah. We were the 2 troublemakers. We got into so much stupid mess together. We really did. We would do the stupidest stuff like clogging a sink and leaving the water on and letting it flood. Now, please do not do that. Don't
do not do that at home, y'all. Okay.
No, please don't. And we just sit there and just snicker and laugh about it. Yeah, we paid for it later. We sure did because we were responsible for cleaning up the mess, and we had to do chores for quite some time unpaid. But, we were 2 peas in a pod because of all the trauma that we experienced. We had each other. That's what it was. We had each other. It didn't matter what he had gone through, what I had gone through. I was there when his adopted parents had passed away. I had his back because I wanted him to know, even though they are gone, I'm here. I'm still here. He didn't have anybody else after that, or at least he felt like he didn't, even though he did. Because unfortunately, with an addict, when you use, those drugs will play on your mind. They'll have you convinced that nobody loves you. They'll have you convinced that you're all alone. They'll have you convinced that you're just by yourself. Nobody understands, because it plays a part on your mental health status. So even though he had existing mental health issues, he went downhill very, very quickly with his mental health because it got even worse with the drugs added in.
And the drugs that he particularly chose as a drug of choice was cocaine.
Cocaine, yes. It's one of those drugs that you hear about, but you don't commonly hear about somebody overdosing and dying as a result, which is crazy to me because in the research, that's one of the highest addictions that somebody has died from when it comes to overdoses. And you hear more about fentanyl, you hear more about heroin.
Right.
You don't hear about the cocaine. A lot of people have asked, well, did he have fentanyl in his cocaine? I don't know that. But from the information that I've received from the coroner, no, it was just straight cocaine. And he also had pre-existing health issues. So he had a heart issue. He's been known to have heart attacks. And for his age, 40 years old, and you've already had a heart attack, that's pretty bad.
That's right.
But his situation definitely has taught me something. It's taught me how to be stronger, how to hold my faith closer to me because, I was going downhill mentally. I was in a deep depression, got even into a deeper depression when I found out he passed.
Of course. Especially when you're inseparable at that level.
Oh, definitely. And so I had no choice but to, at that time, because I do reside in Ohio, to find a church home locally. As mentioned, I have a church home in Charlotte, and they have been absolutely wonderful during this process. They've continued to send cards, all kinds of things to be able to keep me going, to say, hey, I'm here. But they're long distance. And I realized I'm going to need a church home locally until I relocate, so that I can have that backing. And that's where Holy Trinity came in. They have been wonderful through the process, and they've been really understanding, because I have days where I go in there and I'm perfectly fine. Around this time, I'm a little bit more tearful and sensitive, because his birthday is coming up on March 23rd.
Oh, okay.
So that's part of the reasons why I chose to do this right around his birthday.
I'm so grateful that you did. I'm grateful.
And March 23rd is, I feel bad for my good friend. Her name's Liz. I feel so bad for her because her birthday's March 23rd. So I told her, I said, I apologize because I may be a little off for the first year or two. But she's very understanding, so she gets it. She goes, I don't mind,
Well, speaking of which, as far as grieving is concerned, nobody can tell anyone how to grieve. So
Yeah.
since your brother has transitioned from this earth and passed away, how has the grieving process been for you? Because I would love for other viewers to know that grief is normal. It's not something you're going to get past. But like you say, you've already warned your friend. That may not be the best day that I'm running around being like hip hip hooray, happy day
Right.
for you type of thing when I'm also grieving. What advice do you give to people that may be going through recent sudden death of a loved one?
Well, I will say it's perfectly normal to be in denial. I feel that I am out of the denial stage because it's obvious he's not coming back. When I received a portion of his ashes, it's obvious he's not coming back. And I had to be okay with that. I had to mentally convince myself that these are actually his ashes. These aren't just some carpet or some dirt from outside. This is him that I'm being handed. Now that I'm past the denial stage, I am more in the anger stage. I don't go off on anybody at all. But what I do is I tend to start crying and I scream because I'm mad at him. It is perfectly normal. Don't let anybody ever tell you, you shouldn't be mad. That's wrong. Or that's a sin. It only becomes a sin if you continue to hold on to it and you let it get worse from there. If it develops or manifests into something greater. I don't ever let it go that far. I'm just like really at a point where I'm angry. I'm like, now wait a minute. We were supposed to grow old together. Like, what happened? I was a little bit naive to believe him when he said that he was clean. He was never clean. So I kind of feel like, how did I not believe him? How did I miss it? How did I not see it? That's normal. That's all perfectly normal. Because when I looked into the research of the signs and symptoms of somebody that is an addict, particularly somebody that's on cocaine, I said, wait a minute, I missed all this stuff. I said, how did I not see this? And it's just simple stuff that you wouldn't think that would cause somebody to go to that. I knew about the childhood trauma, but did I ever think that childhood trauma would cause somebody to be an addict? No.
Right.
Yeah. But now I will say, was he at risk? Yes, he was, because biologically, our mother and I don't know who else in the family have a history. Mm-hmm. And so they are recovering addicts. The person that supplied him with the drugs, obviously not, because they supplied it to him. But still, when it's in your family, you are at risk, which is why I take precautionary measures. I don't hang around people like that. There's alcoholics in our family, so I choose not to hang around people that have a heavy drinking habit.
And the reason you choose not to hang around them is because you don't want to have because you feel you have a higher propensity yourself for being
Yeah,
able to be pulled into that. Is that
absolutely, absolutely. Because like even when I had surgery a few years ago, my doctor gave me pain pills. I said, "No, sir." I said, I'm not doing it." He goes, "Well, you're going to go through a lot of pain." I said, "I don't care." I said, "Let me scream, let me cry, let me throw myself on the ground. I don't care, but I'm not taking a pain pill." And he said, "Well, you've never had a problem." I said, "It doesn't matter." I said, "I'm at risk of becoming an addict if
right?
I even take one, even though I've never had an issue because of what's in my family." It's about breaking that generational curse. And I wanted to make sure that it stops with me. It doesn't move on to my kids. It doesn't move on to future generations. I
Right.
want my kids and my future generations to look at me and say, it stopped right there.
So what do you ultimately? I have quite a few pictures here
Yeah.
of your brother, and I want to make sure. What is say his name so that everybody
His name is actually Douglas Christopher Zachman. Yeah,
Douglas?
in that picture of him in the water, he's very adventurous, extremely adventurous. He loved the water. He really did. He would go on different trips. That picture of him holding the baby, that is actually my daughter when she was a baby. That would have been in April of 2003. That's his dog. That was his baby. He had to put his baby down. So, ironically enough, I have a dog myself, and it's a female version of his, except she's brown and white instead of the black and white.
Mhm.
So I keep that dog around near and dear to me because it reminds me so much of his.
So people that are watching today, Katherine,
Yeah,
what do you want them to walk away knowing so that maybe their lives with their family members that suffered addiction that are still here on this earth?
yeah.
What do you want them to walk away with from hearing your story today?
Well, unfortunately enough, even though this does hurt, I walk around with Narcan. Because if you are around somebody like that that does overdose, you do want to be prepared. Those resources are totally free. Don't ever let anybody say, "Oh, it'll cost." It doesn't always cost. They are free. And unfortunately enough, I do walk around with it, but it also makes me feel more secure because my brother's not here. But my theory, and this is my saying, one life at a time. If I can just save one life at a time so that no other family member has to endure the pain that I've gone through or that I am going through, then that makes me feel better. Then I've met my goal.
I'm really grateful for you opening up your heart this way and sharing your story, your family's tragedy, unfortunately, with all of us. And for everyone that's watching today, make sure you call 988 if you're in the United States. And if you're in a different country watching this, then find your local crisis hotline number. But this is the suicide prevention and crisis management line in the United States area, 988, and get the help that you need. And even if you think that you're not 100% sure, if you need help, reach out just to be on the safe side. It's worth just checking to get some type of resources available to you. How can people stay connected with you, Katherine?
It's best to stay connected to me via email, which is experiencinggodforever@gmail.com. I do check my emails daily. So I typically respond within a 24-hour notice. I usually respond that day, even if I'm working.
Okay.
Keep in touch with me via email is best.
You all, I am hoping that you all will reach out to Katherine, even if you just need a kind of shoulder to cry on or
Yeah.
somebody that can understand what you're going through. If you're experiencing this in your family, make sure you reach out to Katherine. And also, if the Kim Jacobs Show is providing balance in your household by providing these wonderful guests that we bring into your house Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, make sure you pour into the broadcast. This is the way that we can sustain ourselves as an organization. And so you can send to Cash App, $ Kim Jacobs Inc. paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. or Venmo at The Kim Jacobs Show. And a shout out to Anita. Anita sent a contribution yesterday. I want to say thank you to you. So any of you all, please send your contributions and we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Katherine, for being here today and sharing your story. My heart continues to go out to you and your family during this time still of bereavement. And I see lots of comments that came in. I just want to pop a couple of them up. Catherine, you be blessed as you continue to heal, my mom said. Thank you, Mom, for being on. Ernetta Caldwell says, sending you love and hugs. And so people have been commenting. Oh, Julia said, amazing. What an incredible calling for ministry. I think she's talking to you, Cassandra, backstage, who's still back there supporting you. And then I love Servant Church. My mom says she loves going to church at Servant Church over there. And let's see. Okay. I wanted to make sure I acknowledge your comments in the studio audience. Thank you all for being a wonderful studio audience members. And thank you all for tuning into today's episode. We'll see you again Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. God bless you, Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Kimberly. I see your comment. Thank you. All right, everybody, have a great day. Love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference, and I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.